Hello, everybody, and welcome to another great episode of the Gridiron Glory here. Tad and Will covering all 32 teams all season long. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow for great NFL coverage. Just two guys here covering all 32 teams. We're here to talk about, in this episode today, the Dallas Cowboys visiting the Philadelphia Eagles in what was the NFL kickoff matchup. Um, yeah, so the Dallas Cowboys. Obviously, this was the first game Dak Prescott coming back from his injury. He had sustained last season. He recovers from it, and um, coming back on the field, he's excited to play and everything. And the first thing that happens to him, stepping back onto the field, getting ready to play for a game, well, he gets spit on by Jalen Carter. Yeah, just not a very classy play by Jalen Carter, and it's certainly, obviously, something that he regrets, and just not a good showing of sportsmanship there from the best defensive player on the team, the leader that's was supposed to be Jalen Carter.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely don't like to see that. Not a good way to get things going. Of course, I mean, obviously a heated rivalry there, with Dak and Jalen and just a tough situation. But after that, I mean, you just show up and you play football. That's what the two teams met in Philadelphia to do, to play a football game. And after that incident, they certainly did that. And I mean, it was a very fun football game to kick off the year, wouldn't you say?
Uh, yeah, I mean, um, there was, I mean, obviously, and you also hated to see the injury right off the bat to their fullback as well. Um, he is unfortunately going to be out for the season. What's his name again, Ted?
Yeah, the fullback for the Eagles, Ben Van Summer, and he's out for the season, on the first play of the year. Also, just a brutal stretch, and I think I saw that he was injured for the majority of the prior season as well. So just an absolutely brutal break for this youngster.
I mean, yeah, a brutal break indeed. And you got to go out there and have that next man up mentality in the fullback room for sure. So, yeah, when it comes to this game specifically, starting with the Eagles, yeah, Jalen Hurts, 19 of 23, 152 yards. He only did get sacked one time. But the biggest thing that stood out to me with Jalen Hurts was the 14 carries for 62 yards and two touchdowns. Um, on those couple of touchdown runs that he even had, what I like about Jalen Hurts is that he's a very calm, he's a very composed quarterback. Even when he sees the defense coming at him, or even when he doesn't, like, for example, like he didn't see any of his receivers necessarily open in those moments. So he saw open space in front of him. He takes off. He does what he needs to do to put his team in a position to win. And just where do you rank Jalen Hurts amongst dual threat quarterbacks in the league?
Yeah, definitely an interesting debate there to include the dual threat quarterbacks. I mean, I'd assume we'd include guys like Josh Allen there. Would we?
Yeah, Josh Allen. Yeah, Lamar Jackson, guys like that. Bo Nix.
I'd probably put Josh and Lamar ahead of him and then put Jalen Hurts third.
You're right. So Jalen Hurts again. He comes out here, um, just always going out there, being an incredible leader in the way that he is. Saquon Barkley, 18 carries for 60 yards and a touchdown. He even had a long run of 16 yards. There was a lot of plays where obviously Saquon going out there showing his finesse, showing what he can do. And obviously, him getting the touchdown gave Philadelphia that swing of momentum that they exactly needed in that moment that he got it. So, um, I personally, again, Saquon ranked number one in the NFL amongst his peers in the top 100. So, Easily still the best running back. I mean, I know that like after if you if preseason you would have had Saquon ranked number one, but after 1 week of football, people are going to obviously probably put Derek ahead of that. But I personally would still say that Saquon's the best running back in the league. So very fun to see him going out there and getting that touchdown. Um, and then yeah, not a whole lot else getting involved in the running back room. I mean, yeah, 3 carries for Will Shipley, 3 carries for AJ Dillon. In the receiving room, Tad, Dallas Goddard, 7 catches for 44 yards. Uh, Obviously, Dallas Goddard getting involved, doing his thing. Uh, this tight end room, he is the best tight end probably in his division, maybe. Some might say there may be some other tight ends that could argue it, but it's probably Dallas Goddard. Um, yeah, and then Super Bowl winning tight end Dallas Goddard. And then Jahan Dotson, obviously 3 catches for 59 yards. You like to see Jahan Dotson going out there doing his things. The biggest surprise to me was AJ Brown, only one catch for 8 yards.
Yeah, AJ Brown got some good cardio in this football game, just a lot of running around. He'll get involved when they need him. There's gonna come a time when they need to involve the wide receiver room more heavily. I mean, just like you said, they had just the 1 catch by Brown, the 3 catches by Dotson, the 3 catches by Smith. There's gonna be a time where they need to pass the ball more than they did tonight, and I trust and believe that when AJ Brown's number is called, he's going to prove that he's still a very high level wide receiver in this league. I mean, I'm not worried at all about that stat line for AJ Brown personally.
Yeah. So Jalen Hurts on PFF had the highest offensive grade out of 88.6. But I was talking about Jalen Hurts and how he was able to make some comfortable throws and how he's able to make some big plays. Let's please give a shout out to his left tackle Jordan Mailata, who graded out at 86.4. So and yeah, he played the 62 snaps right there with Jalen. Um, so yeah, Iron Manned it out at that left tackle position, number 68. So shout out to him.
Yeah, one of the best linemen in the league for sure. And also, I mean, Cam Jurgens played a solid game. Lane Johnson played a solid game. Kind of a tough one for Landon Dickerson. You don't see that very often. I mean, he graded 51.6, 39.9 pass blocks. So hopefully he can get right. I don't think he was playing at 100% for parts of the game. So hopefully he can get right.
For sure. And then yes, switching gears to the defense. Quinyon Mitchell did get a fumble recovery, so shout out to him in that. Yeah, I want to talk about Adoree Jackson. 7 total tackles, 5 solo. He also did have a pass deflection. But specifically talking about his coverage and whatnot, Tad, where do you rank Adoree Jackson in that regard?
I mean, amongst the main cornerbacks in this room, guys like Quinion Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Jacorian Bennett, even a bit, and Adoree Jackson. I'd have to rank Adoree Jackson last in the room. And I mean, the PFF grade of 32.4, that agrees with what we saw with our eyes in that game. He was not good, and I don't think it's all his fault. I don't want to put all the blame on Adoree Jackson. I think the coaching staff put him in a very difficult position. They had him matched up with CD Lamb early on in the game, and CD Lamb had his way with Adoree Jackson. I have no idea why they wouldn't try to put one of their better cornerbacks like DeJean or Mitchell, the guys you drafted in the first 2 rounds last year that had incredible years. I don't know why you wouldn't want to do that, but in the end, I mean, it was a very rough game for the veteran Jackson, and you just have to hope he can bounce back.
Certainly, yeah, hope he can bounce back there for sure. Adoree Jackson. So Um, got to play better than what you did there. Absolutely. And then, yeah, Cooper DeJean. You mentioned Cooper DeJean, the 5 total tackles, 3 solo, and a pass deflection. Um, how do you, honestly? I would have liked to maybe see a little bit more out of Cooper DeJean.
Yeah, they have Cooper DeJean playing a very interesting role. They kind of have him more sitting in a nickel position than the corner position. I don't really fully understand their logic behind that. But in the end, I mean, he was very solid at what he did. His tackling was good. He had some big plays late in the game against CD when they finally decided to do the switch that I'd been suggesting the entire game. And it worked out in the end. I mean, I thought his coverage was fine.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, Reed Blankenship. He's always going to be a playmaker. Tad. I was also really impressed by the rookie Jahad Campbell out of Alabama.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, he immediately flashed. I mean, you can tell that this is a team, the Philadelphia Eagles, they draft very well. This is how you build a good team. You build a very good team by drafting. We've talked about it a bit in the past with teams like Detroit, and the Eagles are the same way. They draft well, and that's how you win consistently in the National Football League. And they got it right again, it looks like early on with Campbell. And I mean, he just his coverage was great. He was disruptive. He was making plays. You could tell that this is a player that's going to be a force in this league for a while if he can stay healthy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was really big on Jahad Campbell and especially his coverage in open space and being able to make some really good tackles. So I think he's going to be a very exciting middle linebacker to watch. So yeah, I just think the Eagles defense did a really good job, especially in the secondary coverage when CD
Mhm.
Lamb obviously you made the drops that you did, but excellent coverage by the secondary there,
Especially in the second half.
especially in the second half. Looking at Dallas, Dak Prescott, 21 to 34, 188 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. But I feel like he did a lot more than what the stat line shows. His PFF grade pretty high. They were pretty high on him as they had him ranked at a 90 with an 86.1. So the stat chart itself, 21 to 34, 188, he definitely did a lot more things than what that shows. And obviously, we talked about he made those good throws at the end. Just, I really hate to keep harping on CD, but you got to play better when it matters
I
the
mean,
most.
CD Lamb is a receiver that's widely regarded as a top three, at least a top five receiver in the league. And I mean, if you're getting those accolades, if you're getting all that hype, those are just the basic plays in a football game that you gotta have it. In a rivalry game, you have a chance to come back late in the game, upset the defending Super Bowl champions, make a statement that the Dallas Cowboys, we're back. This is our year. They always like to say it. And if you have a chance to win a game like this, I mean, CD Lamb is an incredible receiver. Make no mistake. Those are just plays that he'll have to make. And I mean, he knows he has to make those plays. I mean, make no mistake. I mean, nobody's more upset about how that game ended than CD Lamb. And I think if he's called upon again in a big situation, I mean, you can trust and believe that he'll right the wrong.
I certainly believe it. I mean, I definitely don't think CeeDee Lamb was maybe necessarily expecting to be put on some big time moments like in his first game, but you have to be ready for it. And so maybe next season in game one, he'll learn to take game one a little bit more seriously. So um, you hated to see it for CeeDee Lamb, but nonetheless, 7 catches for 110 yards, which is tremendously positive. Javante Williams, really quick to the running back room, 15 carries for 54 yards, 2 touchdowns. I thought Javante Williams, when called upon, was very shifty. definitely made found some holes that got through, made some good runs. I personally like to see Javonte Williams back in the league doing his thing for sure. Javonte Williams, one of the more underrated running backs in the league. And I mean, I get that he hasn't been the same since his injury, but um, I still certainly believe he's a very serviceable running back in the NFL.
Yeah, I like to see Javonte getting a real chance to be a lead running back again. I mean, he's not really had that opportunity, like you said, since the injury. It certainly took away a lot of his explosiveness, and I'd like to see him be able to bounce back. I'd love to see a great year for Javonte Williams. Just he seems like a player that, I mean, I thought early on in his career that he could be something special, and then it feels like the injury kind of robbed him of that opportunity, and I'd love to see him try to work his way back, continue to do that.
No doubt about it, Dad. So I am rooting for Javante, and I hope he can keep doing incredible things. Absolutely. For Miles Sanders, four carries, 53 yards. So you like to see Miles Sanders getting involved in the running back room there as well. George Pickens, you bring in George Pickens. He only had 3 catches for 30 yards. Um, and then you hated to see the fumble from Dallas Turner. But the Dallas defense, I mean, kind of let this game get away from them. I mean, actually, I wouldn't even say that. They, aside from the field goal, like they did a pretty good job of making sure Dallas was in a winning position to try to win this football game in the second half. So
Yeah,
definitely some guys worth mentioning in the Dallas defense. Probably the one that stands out to me the most. Trayvon Diggs did solid enough in coverage. Um, Malik Hooker, obviously. Malik Hooker had some big hits. The free safety. I did mention Trayvon Diggs, Marshawn Nealon, Donovan Wilson. Uh, Highest PFF grade goes to Malik Hooker on the tackling, 87.7, the free safety. And he played 62 snaps along with Donovan Wilson. Probably the guy that was really getting after it the most on this defensive side, Malik Hooker.
yeah, definitely a great player there. I do want your take on the Cowboys debut of Kenny Clark, of course, the main player back in the Micah Parsons trade. He had 5 tackles in his Eagles debut, and he saw the field for, let's see, he saw the field for about 40 plays, I think it says. So around, yeah, 40 snaps he saw. So what was your take on Kenny Clark's game?
I mean, yeah, Kenny Clark, he, went out here and he rose up to the moment. He went out there. I kind of was happy for him in the sense of, you know, a lot of people were thinking, oh, this is going to be, a lot of people were all thinking, oh, Kenny Clark is a major downgrade from Micah Parsons. But Kenny Clark goes out there and he's like, hey, I can, maybe I'm not Micah Parsons, but I'm still going to go out here and I'm going to make plays and I'm going to wreak havoc of my own on his defense. And he just did a really good job of imposing his will and making some plays at times.
Yeah, definitely an interesting case there. This was just, it was a really interesting game in that it feels like it completely shifted in the second half. Like in the first half, neither side was able to stop the offense, and then it feels like in the second half the defense is kind of, they upped their games, and I mean it was just an entirely different vibe in the second half, and maybe the weather had something to do with that. There was the delay, of course, so just very interesting there.
Yeah, the delay very interesting. Obviously when you have that weather delay, and then you got to warm up, and that creates a whole different dynamic and factor there. So I don't know if that played a part in the CD drops. I don't know if that played a part in no team scoring, 0 points in either quarter, but it definitely made for an interesting football game for it being the first game of the season. And it does seem Jalen Carter is going to be receiving a pretty hefty fine for his ordeal.
Yes, Jalen Carter was fined no suspension. He will be cleared to play next week. So very interesting there. They deemed that missing the one game against the Cowboys, he basically missed the entire game. That was enough of a suspension. So he'll be on the roster in the next matchup.
Yes. Got to learn your lesson from that. Yeah. So I think the Dallas defense did a good enough job to keep them in a position late in this game to give Dak Prescott that chance late in the game with, the throws to CD and stuff. So um, just you hate to see it. And Dallas will certainly bounce back for sure. But yeah, so the Cowboys next week. Um, it does look like the Cowboys next week, Tad, they're going to be playing the New York Giants. So that's going to be another division rival right off the bat. You're at home. That's a really good chance to bounce back if you are the Dallas Cowboys. And then the Philadelphia Eagles, a Super Bowl rematch at Arrowhead Stadium. Huge game there.
Yeah, imagine that'll be the national game of the week, the late window on Fox. So should be a fun one.
Oh, absolutely. So yeah, Eagles win 24-20 in the NFL kickoff opener. Um, yeah, and I didn't really have any other final thoughts or takes on this matchup unless you did. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow. Thank you for watching the Gridiron Glory, covering the story of the NFL all season long. Two guys covering all 32 teams.